Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Janet Crescent. I'm filling in today for Justin Riley and Jessa Jeremiah. So, who's your favorite action hero? Did you know right here in Fitchburg you can fulfill your action hero fantasies with some of the most advanced laser tag equipment around? And with us we have Andy Rasico from iCombat Madison Tactical Laser Tag. That's a pretty big name to tell us more about this. Thanks for coming in, Andy.
Thank you.
This is new for me, so I'm interested in learning what makes you special. So tell us a little bit more about this laser tag business that you have.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's not like your traditional laser tag where you have the neon and the black lights and, you know, the kid-orientated type of thing. There's a couple other ones of those all around the country. We are a new modern era laser tag playing off of the latest Hollywood action films. The set and the field is fully immersive, so the players kind of step into, you know, a movie role and they get to go in there and complete thrilling missions. They're fully immersed in a lot of special effects. Everything is very modern. The props are all realistic, so there's nothing in there that, you know, looks like a bowling alley or the typical type of thing that you might see. And we're also very unique because our players create a profile, and when they play their laser tag, all of their stats are tracked. So they can go back and look at their match history, they can earn achievements, and then they compete on a leaderboard that can be as big as the worldwide with all of our facilities, all the way down to this facility, and compare themselves to all the other players.
Wow. Let's just back up a little bit, because that was a lot. One thing I heard that I thought was interesting is you said missions, and that's a little bit different than regular laser tag where you're just kind of shooting at people, right?
Right.
And this is, you have a task to accomplish and that sort of thing. I did look at your website, and when you say props, it is pretty realistic looking stuff. I saw Jeeps and big tires, and I'm trying to remember what else.
We have guard towers, some cannons, things like that, and it's trying to emulate a military base.
And even the firearms and the weapons that you use, don't they have a little bit of recoil to make them seem more realistic?
The gear is extremely realistic, and they do have a little bit of noise and kick to them, so it's not your, you know, sci-fi neon laser guns. These are more realistic. So the players really feel like they're a modern-day action hero.
Wow, and you do mention many times that you're trying to get that Hollywood feel of being an action hero figure.
Yeah, you're stepping into basically a Hollywood role, so James Bond or whoever your favorite superhero is, that's kind of what you're going for.
Very cool. So who can do this? Is this for kids? Is it for adults?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, it is very realistic. So our players are 13 and up only. We do have special kids segments, but they use like a rated G type of equipment. They play rated G missions. But for the most part, it's 13 and up only. And what's really popular with the college kids, it's good for corporate groups, adults looking for something fun to do outside of the norm. And we are kind of a niche, something that's brand new. And it's really different than anything else out there.
Wow, that's interesting, bringing up business groups and doing it as a teamwork type of thing, right? Is that what you intend?
Yeah, sports teams, anybody who wants to do team building or just go out and have a good time.
Okay, so you can just sign up and come in, or do you have special events?
Yeah, they can create an account online, or you can just walk in and play. Obviously, we've been very busy, so we want to make sure that there's availability, so call ahead of time if you can. But the players will have to create an account when they come in, and it's totally free. And from that moment on, they get their membership card. Every time they come back, they can swipe in, and it keeps track of all their stats. And we do different events. We hold tournaments. We have league play coming up this summer at a different location, but we have another one in Waukesha. But we do special events Thursday nights right now. Women can play for 50% off. Students can play for 50% off. I'm sorry, the women can play for $10 off, and the students get a discount as well with their student ID.
Ladies' night.
Yeah, ladies' night. And we've been getting lots of bachelorette parties, lots of groups of girls, lots of sororities and clubs coming from the campus, and they all always have a good time.
That's fascinating. We're running out of time. What are some of your locations?
Well, we have the next closest one is in Waukesha and close to Milwaukee, and we have 3 more coming to the region, being Chicago and similar areas. And then we have over 700 other facilities using our equipment around the world, so it's been growing.
So locally it's Fitchburg and Waukesha?
Yeah.
Okay, so if people want to learn more, where do they go?
They can go to madison.icombat.com. They can also give us a call, and they can go online to see what the specials are. You can follow us on our Facebook page, just search for iCombat Madison, and you'll find daily deals and things like that being posted, different specials.
Sounds good, great. You can check them out there. We're going to have to take a break, and when we come back, we'll meet a professional but very unique theater group. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Well, if you are looking for a fun and unique night out, our next guest may be just the ticket. Get it? Ticket, a little pun here. Sorry, couldn't resist. Please welcome Molly Vanderlyn. She's from the Brix Theater, and I have to admit the Brix Theater is something new for me. Thanks for joining me today, Molly.
Thank you.
So tell me and our viewers what the Brix Theater is. What is it about?
The Brix Theater started in 2009 from basically two guys who used to work at the Repertory Theater. And we are just a small theater. There is no physical location, but we do things around Madison. And we sometimes put on full-blown plays that we don't see too often. And currently we're doing these story share performances. Yeah, that's for lack of a better word. That's so you'll see us kind of all over the place.
Okay, so what are you performing right now?
It's called That's What She Said, and then this is our 8th segment that we've done, and this particular one is called Great Expectations. So That's What She Said, Great Expectations.
Okay, so is a story share a little bit, is it shorter than a full-blown performance play?
It's basically women going up and telling live true stories. So this one we have 7 local women, and I just gave them the title Great Expectations, and then they write and perform their own piece.
Wow.
Yeah, not memorized. They don't have to memorize it, but it's just fantastic. And story sharing is really something very in right now, for lack of a better word. There's a lot of podcasts, and so we're finding that people really like the show.
Well, that was my next question. So what has the audience reaction been to this series?
They absolutely love it. The first one that we did, we were very nervous because I'd never done anything like this, but we found that the audience just really liked hearing stories. It is all women, but men and women enjoy the show. Want to put that out there. But we've had some of the same performers, and I've had audience members say it's so great to see the same women coming up, and we get to see them progress in life. Some of the stories are funny, so the audience is laughing and crying, and just there's so many moments of, yeah.
Somebody else gets it.
Right, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
So how do you come up with topics for these performances?
It's pretty funny that I don't know. I'm riding in the car usually, and I'm like, oh, that would be really good. Usually we'll toss it around with the Brix just to see if this is a topic that people would really like. Usually it's just 1 or 2 words. Great Expectations, I admit, it's because I love Dickens, although none of the stories are about Charles Dickens. And it's usually just one of those, yep, that's the topic.
So that's where the idea for this particular one came from, was you were inspired by Charles Dickens?
Yeah, I think I was listening to him in the car, not him, but some podcast or something, and I went, oh, Great Expectations, yeah.
And then, so other story share ideas come from just life experience?
Just life experience. We've had Lie, that was just the title, Lie. Motherload, which I really wanted to talk about being close to 50 and not having any kids, and I thought Motherload was sort of a loaded title. We had Story of Our Life. I mean, yeah.
Again, things that everyone can relate to, male or female, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Right? Everyone's got brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and all of that. So what else do you do? You said you do these story shares, but you've also done performances? Or?
We have done other full-length plays. So the Brix has done, trying to think, we did some Shel Silverstein, which was sketch comedy. We did do some full-length plays a couple of years ago, but we're finding that this is sort of our niche, that we're really pretty good at it. And I also want to say that we do have a men's version, and it is called Nuts in the Ballroom. And there will be shows coming up too this year, and unfortunately I should have the date memorized, and I don't. So I have to apologize to another producer.
We're almost out of time. If people are interested in finding you in one of your performances, how do they do that?
There's 2 places. We are on Facebook, both under the Brix Theater and also under That's What She Said, Great Expectations, and also the Brink Lounge has been very nice to put some links up for us.
Very good. Thank you. It's been very interesting. Good luck with your future performances. We need to take a break, but when we come back, we'll turn our discussion to the tough topic of infertility. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Infertility is a roadblock that many couples don't expect, and yet it's actually more common than we might realize. Here to talk about this tough topic, we have Dr. Dave Olive and Dr. Elizabeth Pritz. They're owners, co-owners actually, of Wisconsin Fertility Institute. Thanks for joining me today.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I know that young women can struggle with infertility as well, but let's kind of talk about age and how does age affect a woman's ability to get pregnant?
Yeah, so this is a big deal. Our clocks really do tick. By the time women are 40, only 30% of us can create pregnancies with our own eggs. And by the time we're 43, only 10% of us can.
10%?
Yep.
Wow, and I think that's kind of tough because people seem to be starting families later in life these days.
That's true.
Is there a way to determine how many eggs that a woman does have left if they want to try?
Yeah, there is. It used to be tough. You used to have to come in on a very specific day during the menstrual cycle and have very specific testing that was expensive. It either involved blood testing or ultrasound testing. But today, there's a cheap blood test that can be done anytime called an AMH, and it's very inexpensive.
That's amazing. I was doing a little reading, and they said by age 40, roughly 97% of your eggs are gone.
Yeah.
So if most are gone, what is a woman to do? What can be done?
Yeah, so other than adoption, there are a lot of options. You can utilize donor eggs, and they can come from someone you know. They can come from an anonymous donor. They can be fresh. They can be frozen. There's also the option of donated embryos. And those are eggs that have already been fertilized. People are done with their family building after fertility treatment, and they donate these to other couples. And we offer all of these options at the Institute. In fact, we're the only center in Wisconsin that does.
That's actually what I was going to ask next is, you know, I hear about these types of procedures and options, but they seem so far away, I guess, and to think it's available right here in Madison. So amazing. It's nice to have that option, I suppose.
Yeah.
Talk about the egg donor and what are the benefits for
Yes.
them?
Yeah. Besides the financial compensation, which really is quite good, you know, it's a gift that you give to these families, and they've been struggling for years with infertility. You give that gift, you change their lives, and I think that's more important than the money for most of the patients that donate.
That is a pretty incredible gift.
Yeah.
It's a life-changing gift. And when I was reading about it, the struggles with infertility really can impact couples terribly and their marriage and a person's wellness in their mind, I guess. So it's
Absolutely.
a big deal. What about becoming one? How does a person go about starting if someone's interested in donating eggs?
It's actually quite easy. Somebody has to be between the ages of 21 and 30, and if there's a woman out there who wants to donate who's within that age range, all she has to do is call us. We will take care of it from there. We screen them. We look for their own history, their own medical history, their family's medical history, and by and large we catalog that information and then allow our patients to choose from the dossiers of each of the donors. So we don't exclude people outright just because they have a family history that may contain diseases, or in fact, even if they have certain diseases, we allow the couples who are interested in that egg donor to make the decision themselves.
Interesting. So you keep a catalog so a couple that's considering this option of using an egg donor, they can review those options and choose
That's correct.
their donor.
In fact, what they do is they can come online. We actually give them a password. They go to our website, they go online, they look at short versions of each of the donors, anonymously, of course. And then if they're interested in certain ones, they can come into our office and look at the more complete information provided.
Wonderful. Amazing. I assume same-sex couples can utilize this option too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's actually the primary way that they're able to conceive these days. Same-sex female couples, it's easy because either one of them can actually undergo donor insemination with donor sperm. But for male couples, it's more difficult. Same-sex male couples require both an egg donor and someone to carry the child. So a gestational carrier, in addition to egg donation, is required.
Okay. Unfortunately, we are out of time. So if someone's interested, where do they go to learn more?
They can check out our website or our page on Facebook, or they can call us directly at the Wisconsin Fertility Institute.
Very interesting, useful information. Thank you so much for coming in today and sharing that Appreciate that.
Thank
We need to
you.
take a break. When we come back, we'll learn how to clear out our medicine cabinet and dispose of those unused medicines properly. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We're in our final segment here. I bet if you took a look in your medicine cabinet, you'd find some medicines that were either expired, unused, or maybe unwanted at this point. And our next guest is one of our news partners, and he's here to help us learn how to dispose of those medications properly. Please welcome Dr. Eric Hewitt. Thanks for coming in, Eric.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Eric's a pharmacist and owner of the Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Monona.
Correct. Yep.
Great. So we have some of these things in our medicine cabinet, and you said that you wanted to talk about a special day that helps us dispose of them properly. Go
Correct.
ahead and tell us about that.
Yeah. So just first off, it's going to be Saturday, May 16th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's going to be at our Monona Medicine Shop location, which is 4205 Monona Drive in Monona. And what it is, it gives an opportunity, like you said, to get rid of those unused, unwanted, expired medications that are just sitting around your house that you need to get rid of and disposed of properly. And it allows not only an avenue for that, but allows for the proper disposal of those medications.
Okay, so that's what the day is, or the event. Why only a specific day? Why not anytime? Just bring it in.
Sure, and that's a good question. And the DEA is the one that kind of controls that, because you can imagine that there's some controlled substances that are out there that people are taking for pain or some medications of abuse, things like that, that really need to be disposed of properly so they don't get in the wrong hands.
Sure.
The DEA has rules, of how that gets disposed of. They have changed the rules recently to allow pharmacies to have receptacles in them, but there's legal things, there's costs associated with that. So when we partner with the police department, like we're doing on a day like today, we don't have to go through those regulations because the police department is there partnering with us.
I see. So it's easier to hold a certain day.
Exactly.
Okay. So you mentioned the police department.
Yep.
Who actually runs this? What is it called? Prescription Drug Take Back Day. Who runs the program?
It's in combination with the Medicine Shop Pharmacy and, for us, the Monona Police Department.
Okay.
And like I said, when we have the police department there, then we don't have to abide by the DEA rules because there's a police officer present to take back those medications. So it's really a combination effort between those two agencies.
Sure. How long have you been doing that?
It's been, I believe this is going to be the 6th year that we've partnered with Monona Police Department.
Okay.
So.
And why do you believe it's so important to dispose of them in this manner?
Sure. It's kind of twofold. One, there's an environmental impact, so we're not making sure that we're throwing them away in landfills, or worse yet, flushing them down the toilet and having, trace elements of those medications showing up in our drinking water. So that's the environmental aspect. The other aspect is preventing those prescriptions from getting into the wrong hands, like I mentioned a little bit before. Just because they're expired or you don't want them anymore doesn't mean somebody doesn't want to get their hands on them. So if we make sure that they're disposed of, they're not around, they're not potentially abused by somebody, because that's oftentimes where major drug issues start, not only with prescription drugs, but then going on to street drugs and things like that.
Sure, and just having this event makes a person think, what do I have in my medicine cabinet? Maybe I should take a look. It's been a while.
Very true. Yes.
Sure. Are there certain medications that aren't accepted?
Yeah, there are. One is sharps, anything that has a needle on it. Obviously, there's OSHA rules against that, meaning you don't want to have anybody stick themselves. Liquids or inhalers are the two, because they do get taken to an incineration place, and those containers, especially that are in inhalers, can explode, and you want to make sure that that doesn't happen.
So like asthma inhalers?
Exactly.
referring
So,
to.
yep. So those are actually best just tossing out in the garbage because they can't be incinerated.
Okay, interesting. And so we said so far it was Saturday, May 16th, and
Yep.
it runs from 9 to 1. What if someone can't make it in at that day or that time? What are the options for someone?
Sure. There's a couple of things. A lot of times, police departments, local police departments will actually have a receptacle in their lobby. You are restricted to their office hours, that they're open. But I would check with your local police department. I know Monona does not have one, but the east side of Madison and the west side of Madison, I do believe have those receptacles. So any day during their normal business hours, I believe you can drop those off in the receptacles.
Okay, good to know. I sure didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're about out of time, but if someone would like more information about disposing of these medicines properly, where should they go? What do you advise?
You know, I would advise first checking with your pharmacy. I'm always going to advocate that, being a pharmacist and being a pharmacy owner. But also, the DEA has, you know, a lot of information not only on how it prevents drug abuse or options on how to properly dispose of those medications. So, like I said, always check with your pharmacy, you know, primarily, but then online also has a lot of great information.
Sure, great. Well, thanks, Eric. Thanks for coming in and letting us know about May 16th from 9 to 1 at the Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Monona. So thanks to Eric, thanks to all of our guests, and thank you for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you next time.